Hi, welcome everybody. I am here with the fabulous Isabelle from Healthy Gut, Vibrant Life. Isabelle, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you. It's my honor to be here and to just share information with a lot of people out there. So thank you.
Absolutely. I know that so much has come out recently about how important it is to have a healthy gut and all of the impacts that it has in our life with our health and our emotions and our mental capacities. Can you tell us how you got started in this line of work?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So let me start by telling you a story or sharing a story with the audience. So there was this woman named Joanne, and she is in her 60s, early 60s, and she's like 20, 30 pounds overweight and low energy throughout the day, some memory fogginess, and also not sleeping well and have digestive issues. But to her, these seems like pretty common for 60, people in their 60s, 70s. And she thought she was pretty healthy because she wasn't on any medication. So except that if she had visitors, she did anything extra out of her regular routine, she was completely exhausted by the end of the day. And still she's like, oh, no big issues. I'm just gonna, sleep it off, take some rest. But one day she actually developed some chest pain. So some chest pain and also some nausea and cold sweats, and she got worried. So those are signs of heart attack. And she thought, oh, wow, I better check myself into a hospital. So she did, and she was taken in for a night for observation. They did a bunch of blood tests, and everything turned out to be okay. And she took some acid reflux medications, and the pain subsided, everything kind of subsided, so she was released from the hospital. So with a appointment to see a cardiologist. So she went a couple of days later, and the cardiologist looked at her record because she had been to the same medical facility for acid reflux and that sort of the stomach problems. And he looked at her file and said, well, it looks like a stomach issue. It's not, your heart is fine, it's healthy. But Joanne is a very detail-oriented person and very curious person. So she looked at her file and said, well, what is that number? That number is out of range. It's something called troponin. And the doctor looked at it and said, well, it's just a tab, just a little bit out of range. It's nothing to be concerned, and sent her on her way. So she got up and gathered all her stuff and ready to get out. And she was like, oh, she felt really unsettled. So she asked again, well, why would it be out of range if everything was okay? He didn't answer her question, but instead he said, well, if you're not feeling comfortable, let's do a cardio stress test where you run on the treadmill, the machine, and ruled out any cardiovascular problem. And she said, yeah, that seems like a good way to go. So she packed up her things and left, and came back about a few days later for her stress test. So she was walked into the room, and the administrator, put stuff on her, the little things on her for measurements. So she got on the machine, right? She got on the machine, and she was walking and running, and 9 minutes into the machine on the treadmill, she raised her hand because she couldn't breathe. She just couldn't go on. So before, the technician could do anything, she collapsed to the ground. And actually, her heart stopped beating, and she never woke up. Joanne was my mother. So this is why I'm so into health and vibrant health and the gut, and we have the power to take care of ourselves. And actually, I was really angry, at the hospital, at the doctor, at everyone for a long time. But then I realized it's really not the heart attack that killed her. It's really the stress in life, the food that she was eating, the toxicity in the environment, everything, and not taking health into her own hands. That's what killed her. So ignoring the signs we all have signs that shows disease. You know, before it becomes disease, it's just not comfortable. It's not easy. So she was ignoring the signs and thinking that, oh, it's normal. It's common, but it's not normal. So that really hit really hard.
Yeah, what an impactful story. Thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. Can you tell us how old you were when that happened?
This was only 3 years ago. Yeah, this was only 3 years ago. I've already started my nutrition practice, and I've been helping her. She was doing little things here and there, and she was really an advocate of what I do, because every time, she's so funny, every time I go out, she would preach to other people what I preached to her and said, you know, you can't eat that, and do that. And she was already, she made some changes, but it wasn't enough.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like then you're really on a mission to help educate people to have a healthy body before it's too late, before they get to have those ranges that are out of range.
Yeah, and not just that, to help people tune into their body and not just turn off these signs. It's like when alarm goes off middle of the night, we don't just pull the battery out and go back to bed. We come around and examine and see, you know, what is going on, what is wrong. So not to ignore these symptoms, but rather tune in and say, well, what is going on in my life? You know, what's affecting my gut, my brain, my the stress level emotionally? What is going on? Take a breather, step back, and really listen to your body. So that's what I'm hoping to inspire people to do.
Okay. What would you recommend for any of our listeners or viewers for something that they could put into practice right now and start using to help tune into their own wellness and start making some changes?
First thing, they're really simple stuff that every one of us can do is, for example, just go outside in the sun and just soak in the sun for 5 minutes, or take deep breaths. Take deep breaths throughout the day, and connect with people. You know, I feel that I work a lot with people nutritionally and work in their kitchen, show them good recipes, but I came to realize that it's really the mental aspect, the mindset aspect that goes hand in hand with eating healthy food. And I've told many people that you can eat the healthiest food, and not having the right mindset or not having good digestion, everything is kind of down the toilet, like literally down the toilet. So your money down the toilet, actually. And so first I used to work on nutrition first, but now I work with mindset and nutrition hand in hand. It's to drink clean water. Look around you. What are the toxicities in your environment? And first of all, it's water, right? Our body is 70% water, so drinking clean water is super important, and having some time every single day just to yourself and practice gratitude. And these are not something new. It's not something new, but it's doing it. It's really getting to it and do it on a consistent basis and building the habit that's going to benefit you for the long run. And it does take time.
Beautiful. I love what you said. Like, this is nothing new. These are all things that we've been told. Drink good water, take care of your body, get out in the sun, be around other people who make you feel good. It sounds so simple. And really what you said about having some kind of gratitude practice, something that really allows you to get into that heart space, that mental space. I love everything that you're saying and connecting the whole mind, body pieces for us. Can you talk a little bit more about mindset and how having a healthy gut affects our brain development and our mindset and our outlook on life?
Yeah. So serotonin, that's our happy hormone. That's what keeps us, you know, happy and vibrant. And that's 90% of that. It's produced in the gut, right? And the liver plays a part of that too. So, and from our brain to our gut, there is something called the vagus nerve. that goes from the brain to the gut, and that's how the gut and the brain communicate. And 80% of the signal is from the gut to the brain. So as you can see, gut really controls our the mental aspect, our happiness and our motivation. 50% of the dopamine is produced in the gut. And who controls that? The microbiome, which the bugs that lives in our gut. So we have 10 times more gut bugs than cells, right? They're 10 to 1. The ratio is 10 to 1. So as one of my mentors put it, we're more like gut bugs having a human experience. So that was bacteria having human experience. So I love the way he said it. And our these bacteria in our gut has more genes than our cells. So they have the ability to turn on and turn off genes. So a lot of times when people are not happy or they're put on antidepressant or some kind of mental imbalances, it has a lot to do with the gut, the imbalance of the gut bacteria. And with that being said, why does the gut go out of balance? Why does our microbiome goes out of balance? And a lot of it is sugar, right? A lot of sugar in our everyday kind of food. And sometimes we don't even realize that. For example, whole grain. A lot of people think whole grain is whole food, so it's good for your body, and it is to certain people to a certain extent, but it still breaks down into carbohydrate, which these gut bugs love to have. And really it's about personalization. Everyone has different genetic makeup. They live in different environment. And so everyone's gut is different as well. So it's really an individual basis. And as I mentioned about the sun, go out to the sun, get some exercise, all that are basic stuff that I work with my client with. And when the basic is covered, then we can go into a little bit more detail and look at, your environment and the lifestyle you're in and figure out what is your diet. There's no, in my opinion, there's no one size fits all. Everyone is so different. You can't just put people in a box and say, here is this X and Y Z diet and you'll feel great and everything's going to be fine. It's not. It's really about individualization and tuning in to your body.
Wonderful. I'm learning so much already. So you mentioned about the serotonin and the dopamine. Can you tell us a little bit about the foods that help ignite those chemicals that will translate to our brain to help us feel more vibrant and healthy?
Yes, definitely. So Brazil nuts are really good, and you don't need a lot. You only need 2 or 3 of them, and that would boost the serotonin level, and it helps with sleep as well. And also, chia seeds are great. Okay, chia seeds are great. Chia seed is a good in omega-3. So our brain is 75% fat. So we need good fat to have good brain function. But be very careful about what type of fats that we consume. And avocado is great. Avocados got great fat content. And also, what else? Flax seeds are great. And coconut oil, coconut butter, or real coconut, that is really good brain food as well. And all the greens, any type of green leafy vegetables, they're my favorite. And they're just full of energy and full of nutrient. And you can't go wrong with fruit and vegetable. But fruit depends on each person. If there is blood sugar imbalance, then that you have to kind of work up to it.
Okay. Well, I'm already ready for a salad with
Yeah.
everything you just said, all the chia seeds and the flax and everything in it. This is all sounding very delicious to me right now.
And I think just one last thing is anything that's natural, that's grow from the ground on the tree in nature, that you find in nature, that's good for us. So that being said, anything that's in a package process, depending on, there are some good better selections, but anything that is farm to table is the best.
So that would be the best. Not everybody has great access to all of those fresh, organic food sources. And I know that everybody's stomach is a little bit different. Their bodies are a little bit different. Can you talk a little bit about how you would work with somebody one-on-one to help them find the right nutrients that their body needs?
First, I understand what their health history is, their stress level, where they're at, and what their food looks like. And then we talk about goals. We talk about like, really, why do you want, I come across a lot of people that want to lose weight, right? Lose weight is one thing. And I ask them, why do you want to lose weight? What is the purpose for losing weight? So, because it's really hard if you don't have a purpose behind, and because it's not a short term. Really, going from achieving vibrant health is not on a short term basis, and it can be easy because you're doing it one step at a time if you're consistent, but it could be challenging. So first I would connect them to their big why. What does that mean? What can you do if you had great energy, if you are physically able to do sports, anything you want, what does that do for you? So that's the first part. And then we looked at health histories, and then I find out what is it that they are, hold on. So after that, we looked at their lifestyle. I looked at their lifestyle and see what best fits their lifestyle. And I work on the basic first, what's fun in their life, environment, removing toxicity in the environment. Are they sleeping? Sleeping is a huge one. You can't recover, your body can't recover if you don't sleep. And also eat nutrition. We'll look at nutrition, of course, adding in as much nutrient-dense food as possible. We looked at water. We looked at also stress in their life. So when that's all covered, then I would recommend testing, depending. Like, for example, someone who's very compromised with gut dysbiosis, means their gut bacteria is out of balance. It could be candida overgrowth. It could be H. pylori, which is a symptom of that is people having a lot of acid reflux. So after I clean up the diet, then we go into testing, because if the diet isn't cleaned up, then it's hard to see. And for a lot of individuals, once the diet is cleaned up, they're 50–60% better. Then with the testing, functional testing, I could drill in deep and get very targeted to, if it's candida overgrowth, I have herbal protocols that we go through. And if it's leaky gut, and that's associated with food sensitivity, and that's associated with the brain also, because if you have things that is in your gut that's not supposed to be virus or undigested protein, and if you have a leaky brain, the gut and the brain has a barrier, so that invaders, viruses, things that are not supposed to be in the brain stay out of it, but that barrier can be breached. And so when someone shows symptoms of leaky gut, it could very possible be leaky brain, and that is also associated with depression and ADHD and Alzheimer, any kind of neurological issue. So when the basic is covered, going back to when the basic lifestyle habits are covered, then we go into functional testing to really drill down and discover, what is it that is causing a malfunction, right? So looking at functionally, what is malfunctioning and what can we do naturally to balance hormones, and also to restore function and restore balance, restore function.
That sounds like a really comprehensive, really well thought out package where you really have all the bases covered to make sure that somebody really is going to be able to achieve that vibrant health.
Just little things in life, little things, little habits that really contributes to vibrant health.
Okay, wonderful. And I know that you have a lot of freebies and resources and ways that you can help
Yay.
people right away. Can you tell us a little bit about how to get in touch with you and how to take advantage of all of the resources that you have?
Yes, yes. So I have a group on Facebook. It's called Detox and Nutrition for Vibrant Health. And because toxicity is a big problem in our society today, there are over 500,000 chemicals registered in our environment, and our body just can't handle it. So removing toxicity is important, and also nourishing the body is important. So it could do its function. So I have a group called Nutrition and Detox and Nutrition for Vibrant Life. It's a private Facebook group, and I post recipes. Right? In the group, I have inspiration notes, and I have people set their goals, and I support them on their goals and challenges. I haven't started yet, but I will be doing free challenges, maybe 3-day water challenge, 3-day gratitude challenge, simple things like that. So it's meant to support. It's a place for everyone to support each other so that they could live a healthy and vibrant life. So that's Facebook. And also I have recipes actually in the Facebook group. The pinned post is a free recipe. It's 5 simple recipes that you got your breakfast, dinner, and lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered. And it's really easy. You spend 30 minutes and you have your breakfast, lunch, dinner for the week. So it's that simple. So that's one thing. And you can also reach me through my email address. And another way to contact me is to check out my website. It's still under construction, but on my website, I do a free complimentary 30-minute Your Path to Vibrant Health consultation for someone who is ready to improve their health, who want to get a clear idea of what is the best next step for them to achieve their health goals. And so they could sign up a time with me, a 30-minute complimentary session with me.
And Isabelle, I know that detox is really important. Like you said, that's what we have to do first to get everything reset. Are there any programs that you have to help us detox and get that ground zero again?
Yes, yeah, thank you for asking. I do. I have a 7-day nourishing detox program that I run on a regular basis, and I call it nourishing because our body needs a lot of nourishment in order to detox properly. And it's 7 days. Commit 7 days to your health, and you learn habits and eating in a way that will serve you really for a lifetime. And I have another program coming up in May. It's called Second Heart Cleanse. And that one, check out my website for more details. That one goes into a little bit deeper, and it's about nourishing the liver, and also about helping the liver to detox. So I'll have more information on the Second Heart Cleanse program on my website shortly.
Okay, wonderful. I love that. 7 days, that's so doable. Even I can do that. And I love what you said about nourishing. It's so important that we nourish our bodies, our mind, our spirit. And 7 days really is such an easy way to get started. And I love what you said too about it being sustainable, because so often when we try something new, it's not something that we continue to do. So I love that your program is really geared towards sustainable results and a sustainable practice. And I can't thank you enough for being with us today and sharing your expertise and helping us be inspired with some other ideas for creating our own vibrant health just from where we're sitting now.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I so appreciate the opportunity to speak here, and so appreciate you opening this up and sharing your gathering different people who are really wanting to make an impact on other people's life, and you're creating a channel and really delivering the message to to our community and reaching a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to be impacted by just what you do. So thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. And that is my vision, to keep inspiring people and building our community. So thank you so much. And to all of you, have a fabulous day, and I love you.
Bye.